Hello everyone, it's Angie from the Bookish Island, and today I am going to do a 2-in-1 video because I am doing a TBR for these two readathons that I am participating in, and the first one is the Buzzwordathon and the second one is March Mystery Madness. Now for the Buzzwordathon I'm going to do first because I'm going to talk about it first because it's a short stack of books that I have. I don't have that many books that did qualify for the buzzwords that were given. Okay, so a lot of the information for this readathon and the March Mystery Madness I am going to be including in the description bar. I also did a blog post about 2 different blog posts about these readathons, and there are a lot of more information there. But I'm going to begin with the Buzzwordathon. The Buzzwordathon is a readathon that lasts from the 18th of March to the 24th, so I have a lot of time for the books that I did pick out. The buzzwords were who, what, why, where, when, and how. And for that I didn't have a lot of books that I hadn't already read, and I'm going to start with the first one, which is The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in the Ship of Her Own Making by Catherine M. Valenti. I've had this book for 3 years now, but I still haven't read it. I did start it when I got it like 3 years ago, but I did not continue reading it because I just couldn't get myself to like the story, and I had to stop reading it and leave it for some other time. But I just never picked it back up, and I don't know, because I really wanted to read the story. So this has who in the title, The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland, the Ship of Her Making, so it totally qualifies for that buzzword. I also have Deja Who by Mary Janice Davidson, and I did start this book a long time ago, and I just like dropped it to be able to read for Romantopoly and then Contemporary-a-thon and then other things that I really wanted to read before this. It is a very kind of slow book, or at least for me it was, so I did have to stop reading it and leave it for when I really wanted to just sit down and absorb everything that was going on, because a lot was going on. I did manage to read 13 pages into this. I think it's more, the bookmark is off maybe, but I just didn't pick it up again. But I am going to for this. There is who on the title, so I have 2 that are who. They're short books too, they're not that long, so I might be able to read this in no time. The next book is Where You'll Find Me by Natasha Friend, and this is a middle grade, I think. Yeah, this is a middle grade. I can't remember what it was about, but I never did pick it up, and I really do want to read it because it is so colorful and pretty, and there's like a pastel rainbow on the spine and a Judy Blume quote on the back. This has where in the title, is the first word in the title, so it totally qualifies for that. The next one has where, but it is in wherever. It still qualifies. So this is Wherever There Is Light by Peter Golden. This is a book I've had for the longest time. I think it's been years, like years, since I've had this book. But this is a historical fiction book. I know that it is set in the past. Yeah, in the 1920s in America. I don't know if I'll like it because I have a tough time reading historical fictions. It's just all of the information about the time, and if it's not, like, for me, if it's not told in a certain way, then I won't like it, and I'll just like feel like it is too much being thrown at me. Like if it's set before like the 1920s, let's say, it does get to be a lot, and I don't understand a lot of the things that are going on, but if it's told in a certain way, I can get into it. I'm just hoping that this is one of those that I can get into, because I have had it for a long time. So these are the books that I will be reading for the Buzzwordathon. So I have to make room for the next stack of books because it is a mountain of books. Yeah, it's a lot. I practically picked out books from my shelves that could qualify as a mystery book and just like piled them up, and it's like, it's tall. It's a lot. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I am not going to read all of these books. This is just so that I have options. Probably just gonna end up reading 1 or 2 of these, but I like to have the books that I could read like set aside so that I could see them and I can be conscious that they're there. These are the ones that I can read, and if I am in the mood for any of them in particular, I can just pick them out and read them. Aside, like if they are on my shelves, they will just get like blend. They will just blend with the other books, and I won't be able to like see that these are mystery books. So I'm going to start with my biggest stack so that I can put them next to them. The first book is a book that I've had for a while as well, and it is The Unquiet Dead by Ozma Sehanat Khan. I hope I'm saying that right. So this is a debut by the author, and it is a police procedural mystery. I know there have already been like more than 4 books that have come out since this one. It is a series. So here's one. This is also an arc, just so you know. I won this a long time ago and just never read it, but I'm hoping that it will be one of the books that I do read for this. The next book is The House by Christina Lauren, and this is a mystery that has more of a spooky haunted house type of feeling to it. It's a book that I hauled quite a bit ago, so yes. I'm not going to explain any of these books because I honestly can't remember. It's a lot of information, and I tend to forget very easily what they're about unless I have already read them. So it's just gonna be me telling like a little bit of what they could be and the names, so this doesn't end up being the longest video ever. The next one is The Stranger on the Train by Abby Taylor, and this is a book that I hauled quite a bit ago as well. It is about a mother who is on a train, and she has like this feeling that something is going to happen because some men approach her on the train, so she runs out, but she leaves her baby on the train. I've wanted to read this for a while ago, but I only managed to read up until chapter 2, so 12 pages in. The next 2 are a part of a series. So for me, it is a sequel because I only have 2 books. I don't think I'm going to get any more. The first one is Trust Me, I'm Lying by Mary Elizabeth Summer, and the second one is Trust Me, I Am Trouble. So these 2 books are about a girl who is very good at lying until it gets to the point where she gets stacked, like everything's stacked against her, and then there's also a stalker who is following her, and stuff happens. The next one is a book that I did start. I tend to start books and just like not continue, but for this one I read quite a bit of it, but then got weirded out because of one particular sentence that a main character said, and it is I So Don't Do Mysteries by Barry Summy, and this is a young adult mystery, and the main character did say something that weirded me out so much. So the main character said in the end of the first chapter, I watch his shaggy hair bounce against the color of his Black Death by Stereo t-shirt, which rises up to reveal the grooviest plaid boxers above sagging jeans. Sigh. There's something about a guy who sags. And that just sounded so weird that I dropped the book. Like I couldn't keep reading it. But it's a short book, so I might just like ignore that and keep reading it just so I can finish it and put it aside. But that was just so weird. I like a boy who sags. What? Whatever. The next one is a middle grade / YA novel, and this is Murder is Bad Manners by Robin Stevens. So it sounds like something that could be along the lines of a Study in Scarlet, but with 2 female main characters, so I'm totally into that. The next 2 are part of a series. I can't remember which is the first one, but they are The Chase by Janet Ivanovich and Lee Goldberg and The Heist. I've had these for a long time, and I've always been like, I want to read this, I'm going to read this. I I just never got to them. I had other books that I really wanted to read first. So these books are about an FBI agent and a con man who team up to solve crimes and get things done. I know I like these because they do sound a lot like Castle, the TV show, so can't wait to get into it. The next book is Those Girls by Chevy Stevens, and I don't know if this is a thriller or a mystery, but either way, it is a book that I also really want to read, and it's also going to be a part of this TBR. Who knows? The next one is a sequel of a book that I haven't read, but it's on here just so I can put this book on here, and it is The Silkworm by Robert Galbraith, and the first one is The Cuckoo's Calling. I do not have the book or have read it, but for some reason I own this book, so why not put it on this list. The next book is also a sequel to a book I haven't read, and that is Death on the D-List by Nancy Grace. I really want to read this book. Like, at this point, I don't care if I haven't read the first one. I just want to dive into this book. Okay, so the next book is the sequel to No One Else Can Have You by Kathleen Hale, and this is Nothing Bad Is Going to Happen. And I read No One Else Can Have You back when I was reading for the Bookathon, and I really enjoyed that story, so I can now read the second one and already know that I'm going to like it. The next one is Curiosity by Paul Jenkins, and I've had this arc for a long time as well, and I still haven't gotten to it, but I really want to because the story does sound interesting. The next one is one that I know is a part of a series. That is a running theme for me. I get books that aren't the first one in the series, and then I have to suffer because I can't get the first ones. Okay, so this is, I don't know what number, you figure it out, I don't even know. It's A Serpent's Tooth by Craig Johnson and Johnson, and this is a part of the Walt Logmeyer series. I probably got it because I knew it was going to be a mystery thriller type book, and because it's bright orange. The next book is The Murderer's Daughter by Jonathan Kellerman, and I got this book in the same place that I got these, which was in a Kmart. They had like this big box in one of the aisles full of hardbacks that were a lot like mysteries or thrillers or historical fictions and stuff like that. I managed to get a lot for little money because I had coupons and points and stuff. So I know this is a standalone mystery by this author. It isn't part of a series. At least it doesn't say that it is part of a series. If it is, please let me know. But it did sound like a very cool book, so I want to read this. It is also a book that I'm letting my eyes guide me because it is so beautiful. Like, there is like this like teal type color and the yellow font and the black font, and there's like a hair, like someone's hair, and what I'm thinking is like a road, like some dirt over there. It's just so beautiful that I didn't even care what it was about. I just got it because it was so beautiful. Okay, the next one is They All Fall Down by Roxanne St. Clair, and this is a young adult mystery where some girls start dying, and the other girls notice that something's up because they were also on the same list as those girls who have been dying, so they are like on alert because they know that they might be next on the list. The next book is The Blondes by Emily Schultz. I got this from Book Outlet a while back, and all I know is that there is a virus that attacks blonde women in this place, in this world, and the ones that haven't been attacked by this virus conceal their blonde hair any way that they can. All I know is that it's a hair-based virus, so I was very curious about like how good it was. I don't know, it's just a curious type of story, like a virus that attacks people because of their hair color. I don't know. The next book is one that I got sent by the publishers over at Minotaur Books, and this is The Vanishing Season by Johanna Schafferhausen. I've had this book for a while, not for a while, for like a few weeks now, and I still haven't picked it up, even though I really want to, because I asked for it. I made a request for this book because I wanted to read it. I need to read more books like these, more mysteries like written by women. I want to read more books written by women, for no reason. It's just something that I really want to do, and I want to read more mysteries written by women. The next book is also one that I got from Kmart, and that is Thankless in Death by J.D. Robb. I think this is a part of a series. Let me check. So this is a part of a series, but I don't have the slightest clue what number it is in the series. The next one is We Are Unprepared by Meg Little Riley, and this is an arc that I won on a Goodreads a long time ago. Never got to it, but I really want to. It is about a couple who are having trouble in their relationship, and then a big storm passes by where they are, and they have to deal with some things. The next two books are part of a series, and that is the Locke and Maury series. I have the first one and the second one in hardcover, so I'm excited about that. The second one is Locke and Maury Mind Games, and the first one doesn't have a title, it's just Locke and Maury, but I have both of them, and these are by Heather W. Petty. What I get from this is that it is a Sherlock Holmes thing, like a retelling of Sherlock Holmes. I haven't read the original Sherlock Holmes, but I have seen the series, the movies, and I've also read A Study in Scarlet, which is another young adult retelling of the Sherlock Holmes stories. So I am very excited to read these. I don't know, I think I'm more excited to read the second one, in A Study in Charlotte, but I don't have that one, so I am going to read these instead. The next one is Sweet Lamb of Heaven by Lydia Millett, and I'm not 100% sure if this is actually a mystery. All I know is that it is about a woman, a young mother, who's escaping her cold and unfaithful husband, who is launching a campaign for a political office, and she goes into hiding. That's all I know about this one. I really don't know a lot about this one, even if I've had it for a long time as well. Running theme, I said. Running theme. The next one is You Were Always Mine by Nicole Bart. This is an arc I won in a Goodreads giveaway. It is about a woman who is newly separated and living with her two sons in a small town, when a tragedy in another state has something to do with her, or like they're connecting that with her. It just sounds like very interesting. The next one is Find Me by Romalie Bernard, and this is a young adult book about a girl who is dead and a killer who is closing in. I've mentioned this before, I think in a haul. I mentioned it in a haul. Yeah. The last book on this is Mean Streak by Sandra Brown, and this is a book that I have started. Like, another running thing with me is that I start and then never continue. I've read up until page 23, and like the beginning is so good. It does capture your attention. So those were all of the books that I just like put aside for March Mystery Madness. I put aside the books that I am really interested in reading for this, or like more books that have more priority than the others, just because I am interested in what the story has to tell, or like I'm interested in reading books by certain authors. I'm going to show you. So here is the first stack of books that are in my priority list. Here are others. See the both John Ivanovich, The Death on the D List by Nancy Grace, and Nothing Bad Is Going to Happen is like my top 4. And here are others. that are on there. Oh, I should also say on my top 5 would be Vanishing Season is part of my top. Probably, if not like the first one that I end up picking up for this. I have no rush to start reading. I am going to take it slow. Probably, maybe going to do some vlogs for this. Who knows? Because I kind of feel that on this channel I am skipping stones on an empty lake, because I have some videos that have 0 views or 1 and 2 views, and even though I'm not doing this for any sort of like reason, I'm just doing this because I want to, because I get more across in video form than I do in blog post or Instagram post or whatever, and I get to show all these books without having to write a lot or look up a lot of information. But it would be nice to get views and likes and comments. Like, I'm not against that. I have 13 subscribers and I am so happy for that, but it would be nice to get more. Like, yeah. Anyways, please like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Comment if you want, if you see any of the books that you have picked out for March Mystery Madness or for the Buzzwordathon. Please tell me so we can talk about the same books that we were reading for this. That is pretty much it. I should also mention that I should also repeat that I did do 2 different blog posts about the books, about the readathons, and I also have a blog, and I also have an Instagram where I post stuff that has to do with the things that I mentioned in the videos, like the books or the readathons or whatever. Links are below. That is it from me. Goodbye.